Okay, part two. All right. So anyway, I'm going to tell you how this revelation came to me. Um, I was pondering. There was something. Okay. It started with this man named Pastor Henry. Pastor Henry, I think his name is, and he has a deliverance ministry, and he was talking about in his video that he was talking about. He was the one who explained, and I um, was watching him one day, and he was talking about this octopus spirit, which is this spirit of mind control, which is why a lot of James Bond and spy movies you see this octopus as a symbol of the bad guys. You know, um, uh, everyone has a symbol, and there's one of their symbols is the octopus. It's because it's for mind control. And it's a spirit, it's a marine spirit. This is what he was talking about. He was talking about this marine spirit, and that this marine spirit is the spirit of Leviathan, which I thought was rather interesting. And all of a sudden it went, oh, something clicked on. So that was one of the inspirations when this all started happening. Another thing that I was thinking about this Jewish tradition that we in the West don't understand, or in the Gentile world we don't do, but it's quite common in the Middle East and in Jewish weddings. Something that is done, and I was contemplating it, thinking about what the significance of it was. Of course, it makes the significance of it, of course, is mentioned in the Book of Revelation, but it didn't explain why. And I needed to understand all this. I was thinking about my little friends, and I'll show them to you before I put them away. My seven spirits, these little figurines that the Lord gave me years ago, 15, 16, 17 years ago. I can't remember exactly when I bought them. But, and the Lord spoke to me, and I bought these seven figurines out of 12, 7 out of 12, without realizing that I had just picked up seven, and it was 12 years ago, 12 years ago, 11 years ago, somewhere around there, 11 years ago, when the Lord spoke to me and said, go take a, no, it was about 10 years ago. I was making videos. I started making videos about 11 years ago. So this whole this anointing experience began for me about 12 years ago. And it was when I was making videos of my first year within videos, or second year, I can't remember. I started to talk about the Lord had told me about the book of Revelation and what I'd learned. And all of a sudden, the Lord told me to go take a closer look at the figurines, and these seven figurines. And I went, oh no! And I started rearranging them, and I discovered that they matched the seven churches of the book of Revelation. And it was a shock to me because it wasn't a conscious thing, because I wasn't thinking about the book of Revelation when I bought these little figurines. They were on sale. There was only a limited amount. All 12 weren't there. I mean, I would have been admiring them for about a year and a half, going into the store, the local store, and I would admire these little figurines, but they were kind of out of my price range for a set of 12. And I wasn't really thinking about, although every time I walked in, I'd stop and admire them. Well, they were put into a sale basket, and there wasn't 12 left. I think there was about 9 left of the set of 12. And they were really drastically reduced. And so I said, oh, well, I'm going to pick up some of these. I always like them. So without consciously thinking about it, I picked 7 of these 9 that were left. When I got home, I went, hold on, what? That was stupid. I should go back. I'm going to go back the next day and pick up the ones that I missed. I mean, that's stupid. Why didn't I pick up all 9 that were there? So I went back the next day. They were gone. They were gone. There was none left. And I inquired and I tried to find them online. I thought, well, you know what? I should try to pick up the whole set of 12. But I never did. So after a little bit of effort, I couldn't find the rest. So anyway, it was like I said, about 10 years ago, I was already making videos. And I started talking about some of the things the Lord had shown me about the book of Revelation, and some of the things that He had shown me over the years. And it was actually one of the major things He told me. One of the first things He said to me, I was reading the book of Revelation one day, and the Lord spoke to me and said, where did you see the number 7 before? That was one of the first things the Lord spoke to me about the book of Revelation. Where did you see the number 7? Well, can you imagine? Now I'm just thinking about it. That was the first thing He said. Well, what happened? These 7 little figurines popped out at me when I was making a video, and the Lord said, go take a closer look at those figurines. And when I looked at them, I started to rearrange them in the order of the churches. And they matched, and it was a shock to me. Now, can you imagine? That was quite a revelation. Anyway, so here I am. Here's the first one. She represents the Church of Ephesus. I was thinking about these little figurines, and I'm going to show them to each one of them to you. I'm not going to go into great detail about why they match, but they do, because I've done that many, many, many times now. That's the first. This is the second one. This is the church. That was the Church of Ephesus. This is the Church of Smyrna. She's wearing a baby a rain jacket because it's raining. She's got her baby bottle because she's still immature. The third church is the Church of Pergamum. Ooh, don't want to break them. Here's the Church of Pergamum. There's the third church. She's got holly in her hair. She's mixed. She's ready for Christmas. She's mixed with pagan theologies. That's the Church of Pergamum. The next church was the third church of Thyatira. And she is a gardener. She's got her working hat on. She's ready. She's working in the sun. She's growing things. The baby's holding flowers. She's ready for the spring, and she's ready to grow. She's a worker bee. She's the Martha Stewart of the church. She's the faith church. She represents the church of Thyatira. And now think about it. Church of Thyatira. Okay, well, that's another thought. Then there's a Grace Church, and she's ready for play. She's gonna sit in the sand and sit in the ocean. She's got to keep her garments clean now. She's got no shoes on. She's not working. She's ready for rest. She wants to play. The baby's holding a starfish. So she's about the ocean. And she's the Church of Sardis. Sardis, short for sardine. Okay, fish, ocean. The church, the one that I love the most, is the Church of Philadelphia. And she's got a heart full of hearts. She's got a bag full of hearts. And her baby's holding a heart. She's wearing my favorite color, which is that salmon pink. And she's all about brotherly love, which was what Philadelphia means, by the way. And then there's the Church of the Last Day, the Church of Laodicea. And she's in a windstorm. She's got her wind hat on, and she's being blown in the wind. And her hat is covered, has a black ribbon. The baby is also holding a black ribbon. Black ribbon. In the old days, people used to, or days past, I still think they still do. Men wear a black ribbon on their coats if they were in mourning. And the baby's holding a black ribbon. She's all about money. She's got her purse. Laodicea is about money, the love of money, and so she's got her money purse on her. But she's in a windstorm. She's in tribulation. So, as you can see, those are my 7 little figurines. I'm going to put them away after this video. But anyway, I was thinking about these figurines. I was thinking about them, contemplating them. And then I was thinking about this Jewish tradition. I'll tell you what the Jewish tradition is. The Jewish tradition is this, um, um, when when a woman gets married, she goes down the aisle with her mother and mother-in-law. She's not walked down the aisle with her father. She's walked down the aisle in Gentile traditions, Christian traditions. A father walks his daughter down the aisle. But in Jewish traditions, a woman is walked down the aisle by her mother-in-law and her mother. And she's walked down the aisle. When she gets to the huppah, where her bridegroom is waiting, she's walked around her bridegroom 7 times. She's taken around 7 times. They walk around the bridegroom. And because we don't do it in like I said, our Christian traditions, we don't really understand it. And I was contemplating, like I said, I was thinking about my 7 little figurines, and I was thinking about this Jewish tradition where the woman walks around with her feminine and female companions, her mother and mother-in-law, walks around this man 7 times, her husband. And I was thinking about why is that? What does that mean? Okay, we know that there are seven churches, 7 spirits. What does it mean? Why does this woman walk around her husband 7 times? And then all of a sudden the Lord explained it to me. I went, wow, thanks, Lord. It's like as soon as I have a question of the Lord, it's like the Lord saying, okay, this is why this is this. This is why this is that. And he's explaining to me, and I'm going to explain it to you because it is amazing. But before I do that, I want to show you something. And I'm going to, the first thing I'm going to do is show you before I finish this video. Because, like I said, that was the inspiration as to what brought me to this revelation. And I'm going to show you something. This is the beginning of the revelation. We're going to go to we're going to be reading a lot of verses from the Bible to explain some of these things. Like I said, it's very simple and yet it's very complicated. And it's right in the first chapter of the Bible. It's the creation of man. Let's go to the creation of man, and let's go to where on the sixth day. On the sixth day, when interesting. I remember I showed you how each in one of my videos. If you haven't seen it, I don't know which one it is. So I've done so many videos, and I don't keep track of them really. I really should. Maybe I should catalog, but I need somebody else to do that because I'm just not that kind of a person. But anyway, each one of the days of creation corresponds, by the way, with each one of these little figurines, the spirits of God. Isn't that amazing? The creation, which is 7 days, corresponds with each of these little figurines. Each one of these figurines represents the Spirit of God. God has 7 spirits, the 7 spirits of God. And that is important to know, which is why there are 7 days of creation. And they correspond with my little figurines. It's amazing. But I've already done that. Now, I want to show you something. We're going to go to the creation of man. And that is found in Genesis chapter 1. And it is on the 6th day, God creates the beasts and every living thing that is going to roam the earth. Okay, for instance, let's just read about the sixth day because this is interesting. So the 5th day, he creates the birds and the fish in the sea. Which is also important, but we're not going to get there. We're not. It's so, like I said, it's so many things. There are so many things to talk about. I'm going to try to keep it simple first, and then we're going to get complicated. Genesis 1:24, and God said, so this is the 6th day now. Genesis 1:24, and God said, let's bring forth the living creatures after his kind, cattle, the creeping things, the beasts of the earth after his kind, and it was so. Okay, but here God is creating the beasts, but he doesn't say something that he says about this creation of man. They're created, they're animals, and that's good. They're going to reproduce after their own kind. But then he says something else. And God made the beasts of the earth after his kind, and the cattle after their kind, and everything that creeps upon the earth after his kind. And God saw that it was good. Okay. Now, next verse, Genesis 1:26. This is very important. And God said, let us make man in our image, after our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the earth, and over the cattle, and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creepeth upon the earth. So this is very important. God now says, after he's created all these creeping and cattle and animals that go in the tree and all that stuff, he says, that's good. But now let's make man in our image. He didn't say this about the animals. He said this about man. We are created in the image of God, to have dominion over everything else. So here's the next chapter, next verse, Genesis 1:27. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them, And God said unto them, Be fruitful and multiply, and replenish the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moveth upon the earth. And God said, Behold, I have given you every herb bearing seed which is upon the face of the earth, and every tree which is in the fruit of the tree yielding seed. To you it shall be meat, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to every living thing that creepeth upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green herb for meat. And it was so. And God saw that everything he had made, behold, it was very good. And the evening and morning were the sixth day. Okay, so there's something very important he says to the man, and when he created him, he said, we're going to create man, male and female, in our image. That's where I want you to understand. Let's read that again. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created him. He, him, male and female, created he them. Now, when I was younger, I used to have a problem with this. Oh, it's going on 16 minutes. I'll see if I can risk it to go to 20 minutes. I had a problem with this because I used to think, how in the world did God create both male and female and in one day and have all those animals parade before Adam in one day? 24 hours isn't a long time to do all of that stuff and have Adam name all the beasts and the animals and the fish and the fowl. There must have been thousands, well, there is thousands of animals to give names to. That takes a lot of time. That's a lot of energy. And when one day Adam must have been like, oh Lord, here I am. Okay, here's a bird, and here's this, and here's that. I mean, that sounds like an awful lot of things to do. That sounds like an awful lot of things to do. The Lord showed to me and explained to me. He said, no, Adam didn't have his Eve at that moment when he created Adam. And I went, ow, revelation. And it made sense. Now, I'm going to show you something. Actually, I'm going to wait till the next video to explain because I don't want to risk it, losing this video. So come to me in the next video and I will explain to you what the Lord showed me.